What if you're not as lazy as you think you are?
You're tired of laziness, you don't want it to be a part of your life anymore, but you don't really know where to start.
If you are frustrated with where you are in life right now, I promise you asking yourself this one question will shift everything for you.
3 ways to exit your lazy girl era, because laziness is for people with no aspirations and no goals, and that ain't you. So
6 years ago, I invested all my savings on this business mentor, and he said something that changed my life.
Most of the problems that you have because you're lazy.
This is how I was able to remove blockages in money, and how I was able to go from a bum who wasn't really doing much with.
The worst thing you can do is step out of your routine.
Today I'm going to teach you a skill that you should have been taught when you were a child, but probably weren't: how to be motivated.
If you feel drained all the time, you need to learn to utilize this technique that I'm going to teach you.
3 ways to exit your lazy girl era, because laziness is for people with no aspirations and no goals, and that ain't you. So act accordingly. Let's talk about it. Right, so for starters, unplug that phone charger from your bedside table and charge it elsewhere. Look, if you really want to stop spending hours on your phone in the morning, you need to put prevention measures in place from the night before. Charge your phone in another room. Next is to stop giving yourself undeserved breaks, as in you've done 5 minutes of work and you think you need a half an hour break. Girl, be for real. This is mostly for the people who do studying and who work. Just spend more time on your task at hand and then give yourself a break. Finally, if you only surround yourself with lazy people, you're going to normalize laziness. Surround yourself with some productive people, because they're going to encourage you to get on your Zoom. And even when you aren't getting on your Zoom, you're going to feel left out, because you're going to see all of the people around you focusing on their goals and you just sitting down, doing nothing.
You're tired of laziness, you don't want it to be a part of your life anymore, but you don't really know where to start. I'm going to tell you exactly what you're going to do. Step 1, you are going to pray. You're going to pray and you're going to say, Lord, this is what is on my plate right now. This is all the stuff that I have to do. I'm procrastinating. And you just have to be real and honest with God, because he knows already. He just wants to be invited into the situation so that he can come and help you, because he says in our weakness, he is made strong. So that's the first thing you do. You pray and you say, Lord Jesus, I need you to come and rectify the situation, because I can't do it. I have no energy right now. I have no desire to pray. I have no desire to even do the work that I've got to do. I've got all these dreams and all these aspirations, and I don't know how to execute it right now because I'm just feeling lazy. You just have to be honest with him with that. So that's step 1. Step 2 is you're going to go outside and take a walk. Whenever I am feeling demotivated, I put on a very cute gym outfit, I get my running shoes on, and I go out for a run. Hair goes in a ponytail and I'm ready to run, because I find that it just clears my head so much. I just feel so free when it's time for me to run. And then I'm like on a prayer walk in the middle, because I don't just run all the time. I'm not a full speed runner, okay? I want to be a runner. That's one of my goals for this year, but I'm not the type of person that can run for like half an hour without breaks. So when I'm taking my breaks, I have a little prayer walk and I'm like, Lord, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm trying to work on, and I'm struggling here. I need your help in here, here, here. We pretty much need God's help in every area. And so I'm just honest with him whilst I'm having my prayer walk, whilst I'm going on my run, and then that's that. Then I come home and I eliminate all distractions. If it's TikTok that's distracting me, where I feel like I'm procrastinating, I get rid of it. If it's Instagram, I get rid of it. If it's YouTube, I get rid of it. And I do that so that I have no option but to focus on the things that I don't want to do, or that I'm struggling with doing. And then I do that. And then the next step is I just do the task for 2 minutes. The 2-minute rule is a literal game changer, because all it is you doing one particular task for 2 minutes. But the thing is, when you start doing it for 2 minutes, you'll realize that it's actually a lot easier than you've been making it out in your head this whole time. So then you will just carry on and that momentum will kick in. Once the momentum is kicked in, you are good to go. You are ready to just keep rolling, keep doing what you're doing. And then eventually you'll already be doing the stuff that you need to do, because you've prayed about it and you've taken action. And that is it. That's how you stop laziness. Mwah. Love you.
What if you're not as lazy as you think you are? You're probably thinking, Lexi girl, no, I'm lazy. And as a certified lazy girl, I started to realize it was actually my lifestyle habits that were making me feel lazy, sluggish, unmotivated, tired. And so when you shift your lifestyle habits, you start to have more energy, less brain fog, more motivation. And yes, some of it is mindset, but a lot of it is physiological. And I know it can be overwhelming trying to figure out where to start. So what I want you to do to shift out of your lazy girl era is to pick 2 habits that are not serving you that you can swap right now, and drop them in the comments below so we can hold each other accountable. For a lot of us, and for me, it was going on my phone first thing in the morning. Going on my phone first thing in the morning really set me up to feel blah for the rest of the day. I'm sure you feel it too. Swap going on your phone first thing in the morning with a wellness girly habit. Maybe it's steps in sunshine. Maybe it's a quiet breakfast at home. Then I recommend working on your gut health and nutrition. Good food, good mood. It's time to exit our lazy girl era.
If you are frustrated with where you are in life right now, I promise you asking yourself this one question will shift everything for you. Now, before I share it, one big thing that I've noticed as a coach, as well as a spiritual being having a very human experience, is that we as human beings are the only ones that are part of this universe who fight against the flow of life. A lot of us do not understand the concept of flow, and if we do, we think that we can do it better, which is hilarious because it takes a lot more energy, power, strength to fight the flow of life than to move and go with it and shift with it. That being said, whatever is going on or happening in your life right now, pause and ask yourself this question: what season am I in? If you know what season you're in, you can take inspired action that matches and flows with that season. This allows you to co-create with life versus making decisions against yourself. There are 3 major cycles and seasons for you to be aware of. There's a season to plant, there's a season to nurture, and there's a season to harvest. If you're in a planting season, which for example could mean putting ideas out into the world, reaching out to find new connections, anything to get a dream or a desire started. If you take inspired action by planting a seed and then you immediately dig up that seed and start wondering why things aren't happening yet, why something isn't growing yet, it's because you're in a planting season, not a harvesting season. If you are frustrated in your planting season because nothing is happening yet, at that point, you need to tell yourself to calm down, because what do you have to harvest? You just started. Your seed just took root. You still need to nurture that seed. If you try to harvest during a planting season, it will be a disaster. If you try to harvest during a nurturing season, it will also be a disaster. So let's say that you start posting about your business on social media. After 3 weeks, nothing happens. There's no movement. Now you're thinking about quitting because nothing is going on. You try to cash in after 3 weeks and there's nothing to cash in on. You are skipping the nurturing season. Even if you got something out of it, it would be a premature harvest. Nurturing takes time, effort, and consistency. That is how you get a big harvest. One last thing, you cannot do your job and life's job too. When farmers plant, there's so many things that they can control and so many things that are completely out of their control. They cannot control the sun, they cannot control the rain. You do your best and you leave the rest. Sometimes you plant and the soil isn't great. That means an idea could be wonderful, but the environment isn't great. Pivot. Sometimes the soil is fertile, but the seed isn't the best. Pivot. Sometimes the seed and the soil are perfect, but the timing isn't quite right. Pivot. When a river flows and comes up against an obstacle, it doesn't turn around and it doesn't fight or struggle. It'll flow around it, over it, under it, sometimes even through it. The same ability, energy, knowledge, and wisdom and intuition that exists within nature also exists within you. You're not separate. Know your season and flow with it. By the way, I'm Wemi. I'm a life coach and a career coach. If you are seeing one of my messages for the first time, it's so lovely to meet you. Don't forget to hit that follow button for more doses of inspiration. I'll see you soon.
The worst thing you can do is step out of your routine. The days where you feel like I just need a day, the days where you feel like you just can't bring yourself to do the things that you've been doing for the last 30 days, 60 days, for the last week, and you feel like stepping out of your routine and not doing the thing and not taking action, that is the time when you need to show up the most. You need to show up the most in the times where you do not want to do it the most, because that is going to train yourself to stop listening to your emotions and stop allowing your emotions to be the gatekeeper to your action. So remind yourself when you're in these moments of feeling like you just can't show up today, you just don't want to take action today, you've been doing so well for the past few days or few months and you just need a break, you just need a day. It makes a huge impact on your overall success, because that one day turns into 2 days and then you're going a whole week without doing the thing. You went a whole week without working out or posting or whatever that thing is. Never step outside of your routine, even on days when I am sick, even on days where I'm like legitimately like I probably should stay in bed. I get up and I do the thing and I execute it, because it just makes me stronger and it just deepens the relationship with the habit that I have built.
Today I'm going to teach you a skill that you should have been taught when you were a child, but probably weren't: how to be motivated. There are 2 really simple science-backed tricks that I'm going to teach you in this video. First, it's really important to understand that you have so much natural motivation to do things that you find enjoyable, meaningful, or connected to your value and your identity. That means in order to increase your motivation, you need to find a way to make the task that you're trying to do enjoyable, meaningful, or connected to your values and identity. For example, let's say that you're trying to exercise more, but you're not feeling motivated to do it. You could try to find a workout that you find enjoyable. You could think about the meaning behind doing it. Like, for example, it'll help you to live a long life so you can spend more time with your family, or you can think about how it connects to a value of yours. For example, well-being, and how working out gives you a chance to honor that value. What's really important is that every single time that you follow through and do the task, you must celebrate yourself. Happy culture teaches us that we are not allowed to celebrate ourselves until we achieve a big goal or outcome. But unfortunately, this backfires and decreases your motivation, which makes you more likely to give up and never achieve it at all. Think of your motivation like a fire. Every time that you celebrate yourself, you are putting another log on it. Now, you might not know how to celebrate yourself, and that's an old happy problem too. You've been taught that you don't deserve to love yourself until you have achieved that goal or become perfect or as close to it as possible. So the best way to celebrate yourself is to give yourself the love that you have been withholding until you do those things. If you want to learn more about living a happy life, you can pick up my book, New Happy, which is available everywhere now.
6 years ago, I invested all my savings on this business mentor, and he said something that changed my life. And that is, you are not the highest version of yourself that you wish to be. You are the lowest version of yourself you're willing to accept. It's based on this idea that as humans, we won't really go the extra mile to achieve something that we've never had, but we will fight like hell to stop ourselves from falling below a standard. Best way to explain it is like, you're not going to put in the extra effort to make your apartment super clean when it's already clean enough for you. But once your apartment starts getting messier than you're comfortable with, then suddenly that kicks into drive and you clean so it's back up to your standard again. So if you want to achieve a new level of success, you have to raise your standards so high that your floor now becomes your ceiling. You have to put yourself in a state of necessity where you will literally not tolerate anything less than the new ceiling.
This is how I was able to remove blockages in money, and how I was able to go from a bum who wasn't really doing much with her life to literally owning my own successful spiritual business. So I want you to understand that if you want to manifest anything at all and you want to remove blockages in money, you must think like the creator. Whether you believe the creator is God, Allah, whoever you believe the creator is, you have to think like the creator. So if you think like the creator, right? The creator created you and I, right? The creator also created trees, grass, houses. They created everything. And since they say that the creator made us in their image, that means we are the creator as well. I also want you to understand that your body does what your mind tells it to do. Like, for example, I'm holding this book because my mind told my hand to pick up this book. So if I believe that I have blockages in money, and if I believe that I'll never make money, that is literally what's going to happen. Because my mind is not going to send the signal to my body to take action. This is why you always hear the most successful people tell you that the very first step to removing blockages in money is your mindset. So how do you actually work on your mindset? You will work on your limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are basically beliefs that limit you and they restrict you from doing the things that you want to do. These beliefs basically stop you from achieving your goals. Things like, I'm not good enough. Things like, I won't make a lot of money. Things like, my parents were poor, so why would I make a lot of money? You have to work on these limiting beliefs.
Unmotivated and you're not doing what you need to do to get what you need to get done. If your problem is that you're overweight and you logged 782 steps yesterday, and you're also on your third crumble cookie of the week, you're lazy, you're unmotivated, and you have no discipline. If your problem is that you want to be a millionaire business owner and you haven't worked on your business since April, because you're stuck on the logo. You're lazy, you're unmotivated, and you have no discipline. Fix that, and you fix your life.
If you feel drained all the time, you need to learn to utilize this technique that I'm going to teach you. So one of the reasons that we feel drained all the time is because we always feel like we need to be doing more, or we're doing a lot, and we never feel like we're quite accomplishing anything. We're always scanning our environment and looking for all of the deficits, all of the things we haven't done, all of the things that need to be improved on. And sometimes this can be really sneaky in the mind. It can sound really nice, like, oh, I should declutter, or oh, I should start eating healthy, or oh, I need to, give my friend a call. And these are all beautiful things. Like, they sound really nice. The problem is that we live in a society which is constantly telling us that we need to improve and we need to get better and we need to change. So it's constantly putting goals in our minds. And the problem with goals is that they're dopamine driven. So that typically means that you will exist in this urge state until you fulfill the goal. There'll be kind of like this almost like empty, like craving feeling until you get the satisfaction of fulfilling the goal. And so if you're living your life with so many little goals, you're going to constantly feel drained. You're going to just feel awful because you're existing in a brain state that isn't really meant to feel good. And this, I think, really happens because we're not really meant to have this much influence of our goals. Like, we're not meant to be shown like all this content for hours a day about how we could improve ourselves. Like, there's constant possibility for improvement. And so the only way to feel better, because you're never going to be able to improve yourself completely to the point where you think like you will just feel magically better. The only way to feel better is to work on your mind and how you think. And so every time your mind goes into wanting, even if it's really nice wanting, like I should call my friends more, I should declutter, I should set up a better routine at work. Sure. But those are all wanting states. They're going to make you feel drained. And the goal here is to not make you feel drained. So when you're in all of these wanting states, it's really important for you to notice this. So first of all, the first key here is to write down or at least mentally notice, like, I'm in a wanting state. I'm draining myself with all of these goals, with all these wanting states. And then the next step is to train your mind to switch to thinking about the things that you've already done, you already have, right? Because like, let's think about the house decluttering. I don't really know anyone that thinks their house is clean enough. Like, my house is definitely not clean enough. But there is the possibility that you can think that your house isn't clean enough for the rest of your life. Like, if you have kids, pets, etc., it's never going to be 100% clean. But you could also see your house as clean enough. So it's kind of this like glass half empty, half full, right? So your house is not a complete disaster in most cases, right? Like, it could always be worse, always. And so it's about noticing the things that are working, the things that you are good at, the things that you've already done, the things that you already have. So typically I call this wanting versus having. And so if you're in that depleted, like deficient, just exhausted state of mind, it's because you've chronically used the dopaminergic system and you're just constantly seeing all of the things that need to be improved, even though they sound so nice. And we're really encouraged to do this in our culture. But this will make you feel exhausted. And so if you want to feel better, at least just for the month of December, focus on what you've already done, what you have. Your house is clean in some places, I'm sure. Like, there's little pockets of cleanliness, and it's about learning to focus on those. So every time you have one of those wanting thoughts, it's retraining your mind. It's literally just all about focus. And so redirecting the mind, redirecting the mind, redirecting the mind, not judging yourself, because that's another wanting issue. So if you start judging yourself that you're not doing a good job at this exercise that you saw from me on TikTok, then that's another goal that you're failing at. So there's like a very subtle distinction here, but it's about just accepting, like, yeah, mind will do it. Like, we will just look for goals. That's the way we are. But it's the redirection. You can always redirect. And so that's what you can control. So don't make yourself feel better, or don't make yourself feel bad for not doing this exercise perfectly, because that will also make you feel completely defeated and depleted.
So that brings us to the end of the video with the advice shared by the ladies. I hope you guys will take it seriously and change your lives, because laziness is a hindrance, and with laziness we can't get better, we can't do better. So we need to do better by putting all this advice into action and changing our lives for the better. Thanks for watching. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video. Love you.